Real Estate Rewired Weekly, where we unpack all the wild, crazy commercial real estate stories in the top 5 that we have today to unpack for you. Lock in. We got 90% off office deals. What the heck is that about? One of our favorites that we talk about. We got billionaires walking out of places, and we got record profits in one sector. Can you guess what that sector is? Let's unpack that today in Real Estate Rewired Weekly. Dive in. As we go, we're setting the foundation. Guys, today's a beautiful day. We're here in northern New Jersey. It's 80 degrees out. And if you survived and went through this winter with me, you know that a big smile's on your face. So what does that mean? It means let's translate that into deals, into transactions. Why? Spring market's here. No matter which way you slice it, from residential, where we studied and did that craft for a decade, to commercial, doing that a decade, that's become where planting season is. So when we look into what we study, and we're always looking at personal mastery, Tony Robbins checks that box. The seasons of life, those things mean so much. So when you're planting in the spring, you can reward yourself in the summer. Now, all those other months that we teach and we educate around is to help bunker those leaks in the boat that you have and the seasonalities between the worst months of where real estate is and then the best months. My job and my mission towards everyone here is to make them better, the properties sell for more money, and advance our communities, because we sure as heck need it. It starts with us. It starts with us coming to you. So, story number 1, CRE. It's on big discounts. The billionaire drama and the office shakeup starts now. First thing from the article right here on the Wall Street Journal, developers get 90% discounts to buy struggling office towers. Let's unpack that and get some insight. It's a fire sale time in the U.S. office market. The Wall Street Journal says landlords and their lenders are finally acknowledging that more employees are splitting their work time between home and the office. And interest rates are likely to remain stubbornly high. Buyers are picking up office buildings at 90% below market. What we're seeing right here in this article is that there's unprecedented devaluations in the B-, C, and D, and F classes. Now, I know back when I was in school, I got decent grades, nothing crazy, but I failed gym. And when I was in Tenafly Middle School, I was an athlete. I was one of the better athletes in the bunch, and I ran with the athletes. And I failed gym. So when I look at this and I unpack that back from where I am now as a grown man, I start saying that, you know what, you can make mistakes even in that sector. You could be a great athlete and still fail gym. So you can be a great property owner and investor and still fail in this market if you don't act accordingly. So what we're seeing is that distressed sales and conversions, billions in office real estate, is being offloaded, with developers actively exploring conversations to residential use. We are handling this right now across the board. If you're not jumping in and understanding how strategies work to untap value in your real estate, then you're not maximizing the true value and you're not as accurate. So the 3-step valuation from ERG can help you out within that system, and that's what we look for: the price per square foot, income and expense, and what's that development potential. So right here, what's the development potential? Who knows? But the developers that do, they untap that value, and that's awesome. New mic time? Let's do it. So, Tale of Two Realities. This presents a significant buying opportunity, guys, while simultaneously making a massive devaluation of traditional office spaces. What it means is basically, are we observing the demise of the traditional office or our greatest wealth transfer in history? I would argue that you have the best sector in the world for Class A amenity-built office buildings, because they're being leased constantly at top premiums. But once you hit that B- and below sector, it's not as attractive. So just like trends come and they go, developments, repositioning, restructuring these office buildings is exactly where you need to be. So if you are an owner of an office building, you're an agent or broker representing the office building sales, explore multiple opportunities and how to get that sold. Because the building that was $2 million, maybe 1.5 right now, but you might be able to save it for 1.7 or 1.8 with a different strategy. I know that extra $200,000 or $300,000 could go towards somebody's family as passive income, pay for college, a new wedding, whatever, but it's deserved from you. So get that and make sure you understand strategies. I sit here and what you ought to do is just explore. Just consider multiple options to make the right choice, and that's what I'm here for. Story number one, right here, struggling office towers, guys. We're seeing it in the Wall Street Journal. We're seeing it there. What do you think about this? What property do you have that you can reposition? Contact us, let us know what you can do. We'd be happy to explore that. Office buildings. A, great. B minus and below, not so great. That's the knowledge that you need to take. Let's unpack.
Can you clip your mic like so it and flip it? Yeah. Or lower. Yeah, that's better. Cause then it's Thanks.
Well, all right. Key developments, guys. Story number two: billionaire investors are walking away from CoStar. If you haven't heard about this story, you gotta hear about it now. And why? Because major hedge funds has exited its position in CoStar. CoStar is the CRE largest inventory for comp sales, actively broker to broker sale, and marketing, everything. You name it, CoStar's got virtually the monopoly around this. Now, they started going to business with Homes.com and started exploring this whole residential route. That boom started blowing up. Why? Because residential and CRE, commercial real estate, are two different sectors. Now, if you're a monopoly going in one and you've had it, you dilute everything that you just had by expanding within the same name. I don't understand. If you're going to go through this, maybe you rebrand and do a holdings company where you put it in a different name. But it's certainly not something you want to attach your name to. Because in commercial real estate, everybody knows they want to go to a commercial specialist. They don't want to see this diluted from residential. Now, this conflict underscores the ongoing battle for the future real estate platforms and may indicate emerging vulnerabilities. Guys, where is this from? I'll tell you right now, it's coming from my subscription. It's coming here right from Reuters. So when you look at that, that article is where we get it. It's literally in front of us right now about what companies, private equity, are invested in not. Basically virtued on the fact that it may dilute their CRE monopoly. Now, is CoStar overreaching into residential? Or are they building the Zillow killer? Not sure. I think one thing that we would all consider is that the platform is utilized across the world in the nation. And that means that if you have to sell these CRE properties, your best bet, preferred investors, database driven, is to be putting it on CoStar. So interesting to see how this unpacks, and certainly something that we are into right here and we're talking about on a day-to-day basis to understand how is CoStar going to help us, how do we leverage these properties to market better in the marketplace and make it clear. We're noticing that confused minds say no. So clarity is going to be key. And if we bring clarity to the marketplace, then the purchasers can make the right choice and choose options. Do I like this property based on this? Do I like this based on this pricing? How do I negotiate? It creates a very fair, open marketplace for us. And that's huge. And that's what we want to create, fairness. So story number two is, oh my goodness, why are people walking away from CoStar? It's because they're diluting into residential, and it's not going to be the Zillow killer. Not sure. What do you guys think?
First, jumping in, I think you need to just hold it in front of your mouth. Maybe try that. Cause I'm listening. Yeah, I'm gonna keep listening. I'm gonna try to keep getting both.
All right, market dynamics. Okay, story number three, guys. Sorry for this technical difficulty, especially breaking sequence and flow here. So just deal with me today. We'll get through this, okay? All right, so corporate IQ migration. Guys, companies are actively leasing offices with clear trends, strategically moving into newer amenity-rich buildings. Just going into this before, the amenity-rich buildings are the ones that you're gonna see a lot of individuals flocking to. If they're not in the glass buildings, A suites, A minus, a little bit of wear and tear in that 10-year period, you're not gonna get the premium. We're seeing it right now in the marketplace. If they're starting up an office, they can easily go to a Class A building, work long-term deals, get favorable rates versus C-Class, where we're begging people to come into them, we're giving them lower rates instead of repositioning the property or making it into something that we should. So that's going to be one of those things that you have to consider when you're in this marketplace, and you have to understand where is my market bifurcation. It's a distinct split is emerging between the prime Class A properties and the older, less desirable properties. That's your big take here. Your case study, just looking in Houston, Pipeline Company recently relocated its headquarters to a Class A property, leaving the other buildings. Here in New Jersey, locally, we're seeing a lot of individuals, they wanna get out of that older building that were built in the sixties, seventies, and eighties, transition, because maybe they don't have as much product, it's a digital-based business now. They're selling and prepping orders, maybe they need higher ceilings. All these factors change why they would have a new location. So that location has to cater to what the new tenants want. So if you're building office buildings that were of the past, shame on you. You obviously didn't get these trends. But if you're building something of the new, it could be repositioned. And those things are huge, which is why our warehouse sector is transacting at a very high volume. If you can get into those sectors and see where the pocket opportunities are, you're gonna win. So implications are that the trends indicate fight for quality. They want modern, well-established, they want different rooms for media, pods, and they want centralized food if they're large enough buildings with maybe exercise rooms, additional parking, very simple, elevator secured buildings. These things are huge. So the office market isn't dying, it's upgrading. And what does that mean to you? If you own an office building, if you're selling an office building, look at the differences. Now, from there, we're going to story number 4. This is gonna be retail construction drops hard. What do I mean? It means when we're seeing developers scale back retail construction all across the board, it does do one thing. So anybody that owns retail shopping centers, you're getting more premiums right now. And that's gonna go in the marketplace from bankability to also just relativeness of sale. If we're gonna have 10 buyers on the property A and it's an office building, maybe 1 or 2 are actually interested. If 10 buyers on a retail building, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 are, maybe twice as the amount. But when we look at it across all the sectors, you're gonna have a better chance right now if you have a shopping center with retail than if you just had a simple retail building. These buildings will trade at higher values, which is lower cap rates. So when you see it, this is why your strip center may quietly worth a lot more. And how much more? That has to be decided on the marketplace and the debt associated with it. But I sure as heck know it's gonna be a lot more than you think. Now, story number 5, the market reality versus the perception, guys. CRE firms back to record profits. What does that mean? It means commercial real estate's moving. The debt rates have opened up a bit and people are getting aggressive towards wanting to make these larger scale deals that protect their shareholders, increase their profits, lower their risk. These things are huge. If you hit all of that and you start de-risking, everybody in that fund, shareholders in there win. Hopefully the community is also advanced throughout that in very good fashion. And not everything's a winner. You gotta start, you gotta try, and that takes courage. So when you're out here and you see these giant projects that are stalled and whatnot, it's a big giant train. These things take a lot to come to life. Maybe they're passing a baton, whatever it may be. Refinancing debt, restructuring the amenities, restructuring the unit count, the breakdowns. All these things are gonna change where you're at. And that's gonna be key for having a knowledgeable marketplace. So when you see this, a notable gap will exist between public perception of a market crash and the reality of the private sector here, the profitability and the renewed activity. It's out here. We're selling these, they're moving. Any headline that you see, CRE dies, refinance loans, mortgage rates high, it's all BS when you get to the marketplace and you actually start trading. If you properly price, that's why we get aggressive on making sure we understand. We wanna maximize your value, but let's be reasonable in our approach and understand where to go in sequence to get this to a transaction. So professionals are capitalizing on market opportunities, while public sentiment lags behind. And that's something that we're seeing right now, active and also passive. Moving ahead, we've got the current market dynamics. Is this an opportunity or am I in dangerous waters? When we unpack where CRE is right now, this is the biggest buying opportunity you will see in your lifetime. And that reason is because when you look back at 3 to 5 years on where we are now, with skyrocketing, multi-trillion-dollar companies growing, and the marketplace expanding, especially going out into space. One of my favorites, if you love it too, comment below, love in space. I do, I'm so intrigued, I'm so curious to see what Elon, the rest of these Tesla and SpaceX companies do for us, because this is uncharted waters. Imagine we're back in medieval times and we've got swords and we've got huts, and all of a sudden comes all the changes that we've had, from plumbing to electricity to gas to this mortgage going? So let's see, opportunity driven, always. Where do we find the silver linings? That's the key. Things happen for us and not to us. So if it's happening for you, look at where you can see the opportunity. There's a dud and then there's a shiny object once you polish it up. Which one are you? Significant market shifts, diving into that, we've witnessed incredible discounts. Now, high profile investors are jumping in, they're active, but they're very clear on their strategies. So if they have criteria for it, they have raised capital around it, management systems around it, they're gonna stick to their criteria. So if you're looking at selling, if you're looking at buying, get into those sectors or have private investors or preferred investors, they have it, you can get a whisper price. So if you want some information from that on a whisper, ERG will do a 3-step valuation for you, make that easy so that I can understand it. So remember, record profits are happening. Major commercial firms are recording record profits, guys. So that means that the marketplace is moving. So the confluence of factors leaves us with a critical question. Is there a landscape ripe with opportunity for a strategic investor, or does it signal underlying danger and systematic risk? That's what we're solutionizing for. Where are we seeing the opportunities? Where are we seeing the risk and the danger? So subscribe for more. These are all the market dynamics. We are positioning ourselves weekly to make sure that we're bringing you the news that's happening in the current marketplace. Unpack the stories. We're only going to get better as we continue on and improve. And as we go, we're going to unpack stories. So share stories that you guys want us to cover. We're happy to give our reactions and what our feedback is with high level of believability in this real estate space. And in the meantime, we're going to unpack reaction videos on how we go about the best of the best with real estate. So right now, closing, commercial real estate values are collapsing. Billionaires are fighting, and the smartest investors are quietly buying everything they possibly could and sitting on the sidelines, humble, hungry, and smart theory, just like John Maxwell tells us. That's everything the smartest investors know. They know what they don't know. Be that person. Let's act it in the marketplace. Improve your skills. Get professional, technical training in commercial real estate to enhance. My go-to is always CCIM. So you could too. Enjoy this episode. We look to bring you more knowledge and execution every single week. If you like it, subscribe below. We need you guys because you are the ones that are our audience to grow this channel. Without you, we wouldn't have this, and we're seeking to grow this to enjoy and positively impact our communities. Thanks for tuning in.